There can be no loneliness among kin. Even existence carries a shared suffering. A true bond carries something far greater. Somewhere, beyond the veil, lies a place as vibrant as it is wondrous, a realm where mystery and fantasy unfold through a magnificent spectrum of imagination. In this universe, every audience is part and parcel to the actors upon stage whose story is as much ours as it is theirs. This is the Auroraverse. Project Aurora is a community-driven Dungeons & Dragons massively multiplayer storytelling project founded by Kevon Thompson, better known as Sensei Suplex on YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. When you are invited to the server, you'll be offered access to an entire library of esoterica through Aurora's homepage on World Anvil. This ever-growing codex of lore has continued to expand since Sensei Suplex first began the project several years ago. Within its pages, you'll find world maps, timelines, character profiles, and first-hand accounts penned by the lore scribes, chronicling historical events experienced by real players. As you progress through your journey, you'll familiarize yourself with fellow players, dungeon masters, and artists who have all played a part in telling these tales. You'll experience a living history in real time as you respond to and contribute to the adventures that continue shaping this world. The Auroraverse is exceptionally hospitable to those whose creativity is central to the way they play. As a first-time visitor, you may find yourself overwhelmed by the sprawling canvas of ideas portrayed throughout this world. Rest assured, one need not be a theological wizard of meticulous study to contribute your story into his story. My name is Athazagor, orator of fiction and fantasy. I'd like to draw your attention toward this community of artists and storytellers, and the wonderful world they're crafting. Today, we'll take a small step into the cosmological landscape of the Auroraverse, the literal and metaphysical geography through which to gain our bearings. In seeking to understand the nature of the Auroraverse, you must accept that some things will remain misunderstood. Detailed records of the creation of this universe have been both intentionally obscured by unknown forces and naturally distorted through centuries of telling and retelling. The following is an account drawn from the first few pages you may find yourself turning when visiting the Auroraverse. Originally written by the scribes of their world and compiled from excerpts I found particularly insightful. Three spirits, known as beginning, middle, and end, forged their grand creation, the prime material plane. Imagine the Auroraverse as a galaxy, with planes acting as solar systems within it. Some are small, others unimaginably vast, yet all share one thing in common. Their borders are defined by the astral sea. The prime material plane lies at the heart of the Auroraverse, a world meticulously forged by the song of creation. This is where planets such as Tahiri reside. Of all the planes, it is the most rigid and bound by the strictest of laws. Shared natural laws allow diverse civilizations to flourish. They also protect the material plane from extraplanar interlopers. These constraints may seem mundane on the surface, yet they are the bedrock of stability. Among the most remarkable of these laws is the near impossibility of forging a stable passage to another plane. Interplanar travel remains an elusive dream, one that has become both a forbidden obsession for immortal invaders seeking to breach the material plane and a sacred pursuit for the arcane scholars within it. Perhaps that is for the best. Some doors remain closed not because they cannot be opened, but because they should not be. The material plane rests at the center of the Auroraverse, and as one journeys further outward, reality grows increasingly supernatural. To better understand these regions, scholars have divided them into 4 rings. The material ring contains planes bound by distinct rules and restrictions that govern their operation. In the material plane, planets behave according to gravitational forces. In the Feywild, every bargain must be honored, even if one party never realized a bargain had been struck. In the negative material plane, all physical matter eventually decays into pure negative energy. The elemental ring contains planes composed entirely of specific forms of energy and serves as a source of all elementals and elemental forces. Near the material ring, these energies take on familiar physical forms, but farther outward they dissolve into their purest elemental expressions. It is a curious thing, isn't it? The farther one travels from certainty, the stranger reality becomes. Within the conceptual ring, planes no longer adhere to set rules or even logic, instead embodying ideas themselves. Some, like Yongdul, the plane of dragons, remain relatively familiar in form. Others, such as Hondas, the plane of chaos, defy description altogether. The Eternal Ring is the home of the gods and the resting place of every afterlife within Aurora. Owing to its singular nature, little is known of its individual planes. Unlike the others, which remain relatively stationary, the planes of the Eternal Ring are in constant clockwise rotation. Their ever-changing positions render travel to and from impossible for mortal beings. No mortal of the rings knows what lies beyond them. Though countless theories have been proposed, such knowledge likely rests only with a handful of the gods themselves. But Athazagor, you might ask, what of the nature of death and what lies beyond? When a mortal creature dies, its soul does not depart in an instant. For a time, it lingers near its vessel of flesh, tethered by fading threads of memory and emotion. The manner of death, the rites performed, and the presence or absence of mourning all shape what follows. Some souls drift gently toward the river Styx, where certain beings, including the Fae, may attempt to intercept them before its silver waters carry them across the veil into the astral plane. Others remain bound by grief, rage, or unfinished purpose, becoming restless ghosts unable to relinquish the material plane. Beyond the astral mists waits Baimos, god of crossing, who gathers these wandered souls aboard his shadowed vessel and carries them toward the afterlife their lives have earned. Soon after arriving upon the astral shores, the dead are welcomed aboard Baimos' spectral ferry, It is said that while awaiting their final passage, souls may freely speak with departed loved ones, sharing memories, confessions, or farewells long left unsaid. There, morality reveals itself as visible truth. Sin and cruelty weigh upon a soul until the wicked can scarcely stand, while the pure of heart grow so light they drift above the deck like motes of starlight. In time, Baemos guides his vessel toward one of the 5 afterlives, where every passenger arrives at their eternal destination. If I've done my work well, you should now have a clearer picture of the landscape of this remarkable universe. Naturally, there remain countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. As I mentioned before, understanding the Auroraverse means accepting that some questions are destined to remain unanswered. With these bearings, however, you are now prepared to begin learning about the world where your own journey will most likely begin. I hope you've enjoyed this small taste of the narrative depth and artistic freedom that Project Aurora brings to our world. If you'd like to learn more, or perhaps become a part of this grand tapestry yourself, consider supporting the Project Aurora team by becoming a Patreon member, subscribing on Twitch, or boosting the Discord server. Until next time, may your story be remembered always. Project Aurora is the intellectual property of its creators. This fan-made video is created for the purposes of commentary, review, and appreciation. It is not affiliated with or endorsed by Project Aurora. Please support the official release.